Oscar guy here. So we are currently on the way out of our late season limbo in the 2022 and 23 awards season. BAFTA ceremony is on Sunday, so I am doing last minute Oscar predictions, as well as my personal picks for each category. Going to go through each category and do my personal pick as well as my current prediction before the BAFTA, SAG awards, and all of the Guild winners are announced. So once all that takes place, then I will make my final predictions right before Oscar night. So right now we're going to do preemptive Oscar predictions, who I think right now would be the winners, and some of these are going to be hard to predict. Now that since we just don't have any winners lining up other than our nominations, and we're also going off of Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, as well as some other factors, and we'll get into that later. But we're gonna start with Best Picture here. So I guess I'll start with my personal pick. My personal pick is Tar. I absolutely love this movie. You know, I watched Banshees, I think 3 times, and before that, I saw Tar opening weekend in the theaters, and I immediately said, "Oh, I love this movie. I think this might be my favorite movie of the year," and it was for a while. But then I kept watching Banshees, and I'm just so in love with that movie as well. So I'm like, is Banshees my number one? But man, I rewatched Tar finally, because I actually got it on Blu-ray. I don't have it with me right now. I can't show the camera, but it's a masterpiece, man. Tar is an absolute masterpiece in my opinion. It is just so captivating. The story and the plot is like very kind of self-indulgent in a way. It's like just about this fictional composer figure. It's kind of a pretentious movie, but it's just like so well done and so well made, and it's not like, and it's a little self-aware too. There's some tongue-in-cheek stuff in the film, if you really kind of dig deep. And it's such an immaculately directed and crafted story. It's a Kubrickian type of masterpiece. It is just so, the vision is so solid, and it's very understated and subtle, and that is up my alley, dude. So Tar is my personal pick out of this bunch. Speaking of this Best Picture lineup, I mean, it is an amazing lineup. Most of these films I at least like. I mean, all of these films I like. Most of them I love. I wasn't too terribly big on Triangle of Sadness. I did like it, but I wasn't totally in love with it. Same with maybe Avatar: The Way of Water. It was pretty good. All Quiet on the Western Front, maybe a little bit better than Avatar, but still, I still wasn't all the way there. It's a great movie though. It borders on great. And then everything else I love. Top Gun I really liked. Elvis I liked, despite what people kind of think of that movie. It's not the best in the lineup, but I thought it was pretty good. And everything else I loved, absolutely loved. So Tar is my favorite pick for Best Picture. My prediction for right now, this is tough because Everything Everywhere is currently the front runner in nominations and the front runner in Best Picture. But I do have some concerns about it. Historically, at least recently, the film that has the most nominations likely does not win Best Picture. It's happened a few times in the past decade, maybe or two. It's unlikely. We saw it last year with Power of the Dog. And there are other instances in recent memory that has been the case as well. So it has that going for it. The Academy is older. They did give the film the most nominations, so that's good. But as far as a winner of Best Picture, I'm not sure if the Academy will be into this movie as much as some of these other ones, because there is this generational divide, it seems, with this film. And that's kind of meta in a way because the movie itself is about a generational divide between, you know, Stephanie Shu's character and her parents and grandparents. And it's kind of interesting that divide is in the film and also with audiences, as far as the Academy is concerned. But so that's an interesting kind of takeaway there. Um, you know, I if it's not everything everywhere, what will it be? Well, Banshees is probably number two, but again, Banshees is an amazing movie. But as a Best Picture winner, it's hard to see that. It would be. I mean, I would love it if it won Best Picture, but for the Academy to kind of give it to like kind of a critical darling kind of downer movie, kind of like Power of the Dog last year. That was the front runner forever, and then Coda had that last minute surge because the Academy just fell in love with it. It's a more lighthearted, warm story than Power of the Dog, obviously. So I have that doubt for Banshees as well. Some people were saying that Top Gun Maverick could have a shot, just because it got that adapted screenplay nom, as well as an editing nom. I don't really see that happening. Uh, I don't really see that happening. If that happens, I'll be pretty surprised. It was a smash hit last year. It was an audience favorite. It kind of brought back the classic blockbuster, if you will, to theaters. So it has that going for it. But as far as a winner in Best Picture, I just don't see it. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. The Fablemans is kind of an outside shot, just because it has an original screenplay and a director nom. It did miss editing. It underperformed at BAFTA. It did win a couple Golden Globe awards, including picture and director. Didn't take home anything at Critics' Choice, and that goes, for the Banshees of Inisherin as well. That didn't, it just didn't perform well at the BAFTAs and in some other areas. So I kind of doubt that. Again, we're just gonna have to see what PGA and BAFTA and SAG do, until we get a definitive answer, as to who may win. But for right now, since it's the front runner, I'm just going to say Everything Everywhere All at Once takes this one. I do doubt it a little bit, but I just don't really see it going to anything else without knowing more right now. So that is Best Picture for me. Next up is Best Director. So director, my personal pick. All of these directors did a bang up job. I mean, the Daniels. I mean, their vision, their execution when crafting this story and the presentation of this film is just like no other film I've ever seen or anyone's ever seen. So, big ups to the Daniels. I think they deserve the Oscar, honestly. Todd Field, we'll get to him in a sec. I mean, I'll just do it right now. He's my pick. I'm sorry, he's my personal pick. Martin McDonagh, great job on Banshees. Ruben Östlund, great job on Triangle of Sadness. Steven Spielberg, he did his thing for The Fabelmans. It's kind of, that film, this nomination kind of honors his legacy as much as the film itself does. So I like that nomination. But yeah, for my personal pick, I'm going with Todd Field. Again, one of the most immaculately directed films of the year. I'm a sucker for, understated, subtle, more calculated, kind of low key. What's the word I'm looking for? Subtle, I guess, for lack of a better term. Direction and presentation. Daniels kind of took the maximalist approach for Everything Everywhere. Todd Field did kind of a minimal approach with all of the shots and the blocking and the framing of each shot is just so perfect. I think, especially in that Juilliard scene, that long take scene is just incredible. I loved his direction. So that would be my personal pick. But my prediction for right now will be the Daniels. They should win this award, honestly. Like I said, their vision is just so unique, for it not to be recognized. And they've been sweeping director awards even over anybody else here at critics groups. They took home Critics' Choice. They're they're showing up everywhere, absolutely everywhere. So they got to be taking this one. They got to be taking this one. If they don't, I'll be surprised. Um, but yeah, I think Daniels, they do have a shot here. They do have a shot here. So moving on from there is Best Actor. My pick. It's my boy. It's my boy Fraser, man. I can't not. This is a great lineup of actors right here. I have not seen Living. I've just been taking people's word for it that Bill Nye is great in that film. It's more of a career nomination in recognition for his work. So big ups to Bill Nye for making it in. Paul Mescal, wonderful performance in After Sun. Very understated. He's great, and he's a newcomer, first time nominee, young guy. I'd love to see him here. I'd love to see him here. Very much deserved. Colin Farrell, the critical darling, to be honest, really between him and Fraser, but he's been winning most of the critics groups, as well as the Golden Globe for musical or comedy. He's been showing up everywhere. This is his year. It's really Colin Farrell's year. He's been in so much critically acclaimed movies this past year, with the Batman and After Yang and Banshees as well, and he's on top. So he's giving, he might give Fraser a run for his money, and as well as Austin Butler. Butler hasn't been winning a whole lot of awards. He did win the Golden Globe for drama over Fraser, and he has been showing up everywhere in the late season here. So, and he's great in Elvis. Love or hate the movie, you can't deny that Austin Butler just brings it in Elvis. One of the best music biopic performances we've seen in quite some time. Yeah, he really gives it all in that film, and it kind of seems like the Academy's thing to kind of award these music biopic performances. So, it's really between him, Farrell, and Fraser for the Oscar. But before we get to my prediction, I just want to say that Fraser, he's my pick, and that is not just bias. That is not just for the meme. He is just simply outstanding in The Whale. He makes the film. Literally, he makes the movie. If he wasn't in The Whale, I don't think The Whale would be that good. He carries that movie. He carries that movie on his shoulders. And he just brings this level of vulnerability and emotion, heart-shattering emotion to this character that he plays in this film. He is just working on another level, simply, and it's the best comeback performance you could possibly ask for. So he really deserves to win, in my opinion. He really does deserve to win. As much as I love all these performances, I think he deserves to win the most. For my prediction, this one's tough because, like I said, it's between these top three. It's going to be really hard to know who wins before SAG and BAFTA happens. So, for right now, I'm going to go with my personal pick, and I'm going to say Fraser. This could change. This could really very well change within these next few weeks here. But for right now, I'm just going to go with my gut and say Fraser takes the Oscar here. So, Best Actress. My personal pick. Let's talk about these performances. Great performances from everyone here. I have not seen Blonde. I kind of refuse to see Blonde because I just hear it so divisive and so hated, and I've heard things about it that just have steered me clear. It's a 3-hour-long movie. People are saying, where's my 3 hours back? And I don't want to watch it. I've seen enough. I've seen enough clips of Ana de Armas in this film, and she looks like she's doing a bang-up job. Some people were saying that her accent was a little off, I guess, but she brings her A game in every other aspect of this performance. Kind of a surprise nomination. Kind of had this last-minute surge. She got Globe, and then she missed Critics' Choice, and then she just showed up. She's just showing up everywhere. So, like the movie or not, Ana de Armas brings it in Blonde, so I'll take y'all's word for it. All right. Andrea Riseborough, to Leslie. The biggest shock of Oscar nominations morning. Absolutely, I did watch To Leslie. It's a pretty good movie, and she is amazing. She really is amazing in this movie. And her grassroots Oscar campaign aside, I'm not even going to get into that. She really is, it is an Oscar-worthy performance. Michelle Williams, some people were kind of divisive or, hit or miss on her performance in The Fabelmans. It's a little over the top. It's a little, campy, I guess, but I don't know. I love her performance in The Fabelmans. Again, if she was in supporting, she would be winning straight up. Now that she's stacked up against this lineup, though, it's very unlikely that she will win here. But, one day, Michelle, you will get your Oscar. And, Michelle Yeoh is, she brings the physicality of her character, her martial arts skills, her comedic timing, the emotional depth that her character has in this film is just great. A lot of people really, really love this performance and want her to walk away with an Oscar. And I'll be happy because I believe she will be the first Asian actress to ever win an acting Oscar, at least in the actress category, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think that would make history. I think she is very deserving of one. If she does win, I'll be very, very happy. But I do got to say that my personal pick, I'm sorry, is Cate Blanchett. She's just incredible in this movie. She is on the level of like Daniel Day-Lewis and There Will Be Blood, like just completely submitting herself to this character, and becoming this person. And she's just one of the greats that we have today. She's been nominated. This is her 8th nomination. If she wins, it'll be her 3rd Oscar. So, will it be fair if she wins, against Michelle Yeoh? Maybe not. I get it. People might be a little up in arms, if she wins it over, say, Michelle Yeoh. But personally, yeah, the performance just works more for me. She's just a tour de force in Tar. Absolutely, a tour de force, if you will. And my prediction, obviously it's between Blanchett and Yeoh. It's always been between Blanchett and Yeoh, but for right now, it seems the front runner is Cate Blanchett. She's the front runner right now, and she's an Academy darling, Academy favorite. I just see her taking this trophy home. Maybe SAG will go to Michelle Yeoh. Maybe Cate Blanchett will win BAFTA, and then even then, it'll be on Cate Blanchett's side going into Oscar evening. So, an upset is very likely. Michelle Yeoh might finally take the Oscar, and hats off to her if that happens. I'll be very happy. But for right now, Blanchett is the front runner. As far as the weight of what she's won and where she's showing up. And, of course, and as far as critics groups are concerned, they're literally like a 50-50 split between Blanchett and Yeoh. So it's really hard to tell. Very, very hard to tell before some of these other ceremonies take place. So, but my heart is telling me that Cate Blanchett will take it for now. We will see what happens. Moving on. Best Supporting Actress. My personal pick would be Carrie Condon. Carrie Condon is wonderful in The Banshees of Inisherin. She brings this female gaze to the movie that is very refreshing. She's surrounded by dimwits, honestly, and she kind of brings, we relate to her character probably the most out of all the characters in the film, and she kind of grounds us to, I guess, reality, if you will, in this film. And she's very funny. She has a lot of very funny scenes, and she's emotional as well, and she just brings something to this movie that is irreplaceable. Yeah, she's wonderful. She's wonderful. Kind of a no-name. First movie I've seen her in, but I think she I think she deserves to win. Some people are saying, she's great, but like, is it win worthy? I think so. I think I would give her the Oscar for sure. So she's my personal pick. Hong Chow in The Whale, very good performance in The Whale. Jamie Lee Curtis, you know, say what you want, but she's pretty good. I probably would have rather nominated Jessie Buckley in Women Talking, or even Dolly D. Lyon from Triangle. But whatever. I mean, she was just they were campaigning. They were campaigning her to no end, and she showed up absolutely everywhere, even over Stephanie Hsu, who I think is a much better performance in that movie. She, just she's doing a lot more than Jamie Lee, and Jamie Lee's just kind of playing this eccentric character who, I don't know, Stephanie Hsu is playing multiple versions of her character as well as just bringing more emotional depth. She's great, and some people are saying that she is win worthy. I can see that. I can see that. I can get along on that train. But great to see her here. She did miss BAFTA and Globe, and I was kind of a little bit worried that she would miss, but she did make it in. So the nomination is the win in that case. But as far as my prediction, I'm going to go with Angela Bassett. Now, I have not seen Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I'm not an MCU guy at all. I don't watch those movies. That's just the way I am. But she has very little screen time in this film. She's been winning everywhere so far. There's a narrative brewing around her regarding, her career and the legacy of Chadwick Boseman. It just makes sense that this is happening, and I'm all for it. I've seen a couple I've seen a couple clips of her performance, and it is indeed pretty powerful stuff. So that would be kind of a career win for her, and she's been nominated once before and she lost. And she's just a veteran of the industry and a very powerful figure in Hollywood, and I think she does deserve this. She does deserve this, and I think it'll happen for her. The narrative kind of is leaning towards her win, so we'll see what happens, but that's my prediction there. Supporting actor, let's just get this out of the way. Ke Huy Quan's winning. Any questions? He's been winning absolutely everything. If there's any kind of upset, I will be very surprised. He has already won the Oscar, as far as I'm concerned. His narrative is perfect. He gives the best speeches. It's a wonderful comeback performance. The stars are aligning for him. Let's just say that the stars are aligning. If anything else happens, I will be extremely surprised, especially in this lineup of performances that are very good. Brendan Gleeson is probably my favorite supporting performance in Banshees, even over Barry Keoghan, and Barry Keoghan is wonderful as well. But Brendan Gleeson, his performance just really works for me. It works for me. There's a layer of comedy and a layer of tragedy that is all in one, all inclusive in his portrayal of Callum. He's great. He's wonderful. I have not seen Causeway. Dude, I don't have Apple TV Plus. What do you want me to do? Am I going to sign up for Apple TV Plus just to watch a movie that's like okay and is really only good because of Brian Tyree Henry? That's just from what I've heard. I don't know. Maybe I'll get to watch it before Oscar night, but people have been saying that he makes that movie, and this is a great surprise nomination for him. So congratulations, Brian Tyree Henry. Judd Hirsch. Really cool to see him here. Very brief performance in The Fabelmans, but very effective and very powerful, despite that. So, love his performance. Don't know if he'll win, but, the nomination was the win here. Barry Keoghan, like I said, is also great in Banshees. Kind of a more unorthodox, kind of physical performance that people seem to really, really love. It's been memed on a little bit, so I like it. But as far as my pick, it really is between Ke Huy Quan and Brendan Gleeson. That's tough. Can I pick both? I'm sorry. I'm going to have to pick Brendan Gleeson. For me personally, this performance worked the most for me. Um, but I will say that Ke Huy Quan absolutely 100% deserves this Oscar. It's nobody else's Oscar, but for me personally, I do like Brendan Gleeson the most out of this lineup. So that's just me, though. Anyway, moving on from there is original screenplay. My personal pick would be Banshees. Very, very solid lineup of screenplays. Wonderful lineup of screenplays. But Banshees is just so well crafted. What a great screenplay. I've actually read through some of it myself, and it is such it's such a good screenplay. The dialogue is just so snappy and witty, and it's all there. All the makings for an Oscar-winning screenplay for sure. It's been winning a lot. And it really is between this and Everything Everywhere screenplay. It really depends on what wins Best Picture, what might be the front runner, what happens at WGA. Banshees did miss WGA because it wasn't eligible, so Everything Everywhere has that working in its favor. It did also win at Critics' Choice because it did win Best Picture as well. So it really is between those two, and it's tough. It's really tough to say. Fabelmans is great. If there's a last-minute search for the Fabelmans, it might very well win this award, since it missed an editing nom. Tar, wonderful screenplay. Absolutely love that screenplay. Doesn't really have a shot to win. If it does, I'll be jumping up and down. And that's probably my second favorite screenplay here. Banshees has that top spot for me, but Tar's screenplay is very solid as well. And Triangle, great screenplay. Again, not a huge fan of the movie, but screenplay is extremely solid. So my prediction for right now, since I have Everything Everywhere winning Best Picture, and yeah, that's tough. It's between these two. I'm gonna go with Everything Everywhere. That my gut is telling me Everything Everywhere. If it really does win Best Picture, which it could, it's gonna have to win some other award. I mean, it might win editing. It might win director. Actually, yeah, I'll take that back. I'm gonna give it to Banshees. It might miss screenplay to Banshees, and then Everything Everywhere might, pick up director or editing, and that will be their Best Picture winning package, if you will. So I'm just gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Banshees for both my pick and prediction. Moving on. Adapted screenplay. My pick is Women Talking, absolutely, and let's just get this out of the way. Women Talking's winning this award. It needs to win this award. Really tickled pink to see it get a Best Picture nom as well as the adapted screenplay nom. It did miss BAFTA, strangely, but it's been showing up pretty much everywhere. It's such a good screenplay. It is tied. I think it's on the level as the Banshee screenplay. Extremely solid. One of the best parts about that movie, for sure. Aside from the wonderful ensemble performance there. So, yeah, that's my pick. And prediction. That has to be winning. Top Gun's, nomination was kind of a surprise. If Top Gun has any chance at winning Best Picture, it will need to win this award. And I just don't really see that happening. It happened last year with Coda. Honestly, in my opinion, the weakest screenplay of that category last year, but it had to win that in order to win Best Picture. And it did. So things like that can happen. If there's a sudden surge for a Best Picture, contender or winner or front runner or whatever, that could very well happen. Not impossible, but unlikely. Living, Glass Onion, All Quiet, really no chance to win, I think. All Quiet screenplay, the screenplay really didn't stand out. For me, it was more of a visual experience, an emotional experience, and the acting, was kind of on top, and some of these other technical aspects of that film were the standouts, and not really the screenplay, in my opinion. I'll have to watch the movie again in order to kind of finalize that, but not the strongest one out of this bunch. Glass Onion screenplay is probably my second favorite here. Great screenplay. love that movie. And then Living I have not seen. So Women Talking has this in the bag. I hope it has this in the bag. It absolutely deserves to win this Oscar. Moving on from there is cinematography. Let's talk about it from the top. All Quiet on the Western Front. Very, very, very solid cinematography. Very solid. You know, like I said in my first impressions video, there's some shots in this movie that look like works of art. You know, akin to, you know, a Kubrick film almost. You know, some of these stills are just very, very beautiful and also harrowing as well, but beautiful also in a way. So, you know, kudos to James Friend, for that nomination. It's a great nomination, and it might even win. Bardo shows up. It got that ASE nom, and it shows up here, and that's wonderful. You know, easily the best part about that movie is the cinematography. Wasn't a fan of the movie itself. Very weird, very kind of up its own ass in a way. But the cinematography is very, very solid and worthy of a nomination. Doubt it will win, but the nomination is the win here. Elvis's cinematography, you know, I guess I get it, but it didn't really, you know, in the grand scheme of all of these nominees, just it doesn't do anything for me, really. It didn't do anything for me. They really could have given it to Top Gun Maverick or Hoyt Van Hoytema for Nope or The Batman, you know, or Babylon, dude. I mean, come on. Elvis cinematography? Come on. I don't know. That's just me, though. Roger Deakins, you know, it's just a Deakins nom. You know, they just nominate him for pretty much anything that he does. Empire of Light, I hear, is not great, but, you know, it looks nice. But even then, it's not really Deakins' best work, but he's here. Whatever. My personal pick is Tar. I love this cinematography in Tar. Very calculated, very just the framing, the sheer framing in this film is just perfect, and I don't know what else to say. Just watch it. It's just so. It's also haunting in a way, the cinematography. I don't know why, but it's like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's just my personal pick. It's my personal favorite cinematography of the year. That and Babylon are my two picks for cinematography. But anyway, I digress. My prediction. Now that Top Gun isn't here, you know, that was the front runner, and they freaking snubbed the front runner. So I'm going to go with All Quiet. I think All Quiet has this in the bag. It's been showing up pretty much in every tech category, and other than Top Gun Maverick, it is the alternative tech giant this year. So it makes the most sense that they give it to All Quiet. If they give it to something else, sure, you know. If they give it to Tar, I'll be jumping up and down. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, for right now, I'm going to pick All Quiet. Moving on. So, best editing. My pick is Everything Everywhere. And it's my prediction as well. You know, it could also very well be Top Gun. Because Top Gun has a sound nomination and Everything Everywhere missed sound. And editing and sound historically has been two inseparable wins, at least in recent years. So that might be unwise for me to predict Everything Everywhere, but it's just so strong. And if it does win Best Picture and misses Screenplay, it's gonna have to win something else, either, you know, director and or editing, to have that package. So for right now, I just have to say it. But, you know, some people are predicting Top Gun, and I understand that. But for me, personally, I think this should go to Everything Everywhere All at Once. The Banshees editing didn't really stand out, so it's just kind of like a Best Picture front-runner, quote-unquote, nomination, I guess. Say what you want about Elvis. Say what you want about Elvis. And its editing. It's very chaotic editing. It doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't totally work for me, but once you get on the same wavelength as Baz Luhrmann, you come to understand and kind of, you know, soak it all in, I guess, if you will, and you're along a ride. It's like a roller coaster ride, this movie. And it feels like it, and the editing kind of does that job. So shout out, honestly, to the Elvis editing. I don't think it should win, but it makes sense that it shows up here. Tar's editing, that's a very based pick. Love the editing in Tar. And Top Gun Maverick, wonderful editing as well. Um, but for right now, I will say Everything Everywhere is my. It's just so the editing makes that movie. It honestly makes the movie. So it's it, the editing just goes hand in hand with the presentation and the vision of this film. If the editing wasn't as strong as it is, the movie would not work as well as it does. So it's my personal pick. I think it might win. I'm predicting it. So moving on. Production design. My pick would be Babylon. Great production design. All of the different sets in the desert in that one scene, and everything else, like the party scenes and all of the different like places that they go to in the parties, and it's great. The production design is great in that film. And it's been, it's really on top so far. It won the Critics' Choice. We'll have to see what the ADG does, but it's my personal pick. As far as a winner of my prediction, I don't know, man. I think it could go anywhere. The Oscars do like period production designs, and the only one that's not period really is Avatar. So I don't think that'll happen for Avatar. If it does, cool. All Quiet's production design, very, very solid. I don't know if it's win-worthy. Elvis's production design, solid. It might be win-worthy. That could very well happen. Fableman's, it's just, period production design. Just kind of old school 50s, 60s throwback, cars and buildings and aesthetics and whatnot. So, cool. It's good. It's good. Not sure if it's win-worthy, but it's good. So, honestly, I think it might be between Babylon and Elvis, but for right now, I'm going to pick Babylon. That's what my gut is telling me. It's my personal pick. It won Critics' Choice. We'll see what happens. So, costume design. My personal pick. This is a solid lineup. This is a solid lineup. Mrs. Harris, I have not seen. I don't really know anything about that. But as far as these four, these are all very good picks for sure. Babylon is great. Black Panther. I haven't seen the film, but I hear the costume design is very elaborate and very out there, I guess. Elvis, solid stuff. Everything Everywhere, the surprise nom. Great stuff. As far as my personal pick, I don't know. I might go with I don't know, man. I might go with Everything Everywhere. I'm just thinking back on all of the different like universes and the costumes that the characters are in. Stephanie Shu's like everything bagel universe, like circle hair thing. All of Michelle Yeoh's costumes. The dress, all of her everything. I mean, there's so much to even say about costumes. They really went all out. Just for like sometimes one frame of a shot. I got to give it to them. I do love the costume design in Babylon. That would be my number 2, I think, but I got to give a shout out to Everything Everywhere. Just the sheer vision of all of the different universes, and their costume aesthetics there. So it's worthy of a win for sure. As far as a prediction, I don't think it's going to win. I'm going to go with Elvis, just because, that's been kind of a darling, that film. And they like to kind of... It seems like the Academy's thing to award costume design, something like that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens at the guilds and the BAFTAs and everything. So we'll just have to see. Makeup and hair. My pick would be, as much as I love the whale, the prosthetics for Brendan Fraser's character. Very, 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 very good job with that. That would maybe be my number two. But my personal pick, I think, is All Quiet. Very, very good work for makeup and hair in that film. Just that shot of Felix Kammerer's character with the dried mud on his face near the end of the movie just is ingrained in my memory. And other areas of the film as well is very solid, in that department. So that would be my personal pick. Prediction, I think it'd be Elvis again. I don't know. It won the Critics' Choice, current front runner, I think. So, we'll see. We'll just have to see. Original score. We'll do the prediction first. Justin Hurwitz has got to win this one. He's got to win this one. He's won 2 Oscars before. They typically like to go with the more bombastic, more brash, more abrasive, flashier score. Typically, there's some cases where that isn't the case. The Social Network score comes to mind. Winning over films like The King's Speech. Definitely more of an understated kind of droney score. We'll have to see, though. Historically, they've just been awarding the most showy score, and Babylon is absolutely, without a doubt, the most showy score of the year. And it's great. It's a wonderful score. There's definitely some Justin Hurwitz isms that have been carried over from, say, the La La Land score, but that's just my musician's ear that has picked that up, and I can't really ignore that, but that's just a bias that I just want to remove from this. But objectively, I will say that Babylon definitely deserves to win here. My personal pick, as much as I love the Babylon score, y'all are gonna hate me, but I really love the Banshees score. Again, I am a sucker for subtle and understated and minimalist. It's the opposite of the Babylon score. I do love the Babylon score, but as for a personal pick, just for a little curveball, a little jab, I'm gonna say the Banshee score is my favorite. It's kind of in the same nature as the film. Carter Burwell himself said that it seems like a simple score on paper, but there's actually a lot more going on than you may think. It's definitely a little more complex than you may think. And I hear that. I definitely hear that. Some of the melodies are reused, throughout, various instruments in the score, but it works for the film, for what it is, the setting. The score just goes hand in hand. There's some scenes in the film that no characters are talking, and there are action shots happening. Well, action shots, I mean, you know what I mean, visual storytelling. It works perfectly for the visual storytelling. In certain scenes, when Shaban, leaves, well, spoiler alert, when Shaban leaves, Inisherin, there's that one, familiar melody with that na na added that kind of, brings another idea. It's very well done. It's very well done. I'm trying to justify my pick here because I'm sorry, my opinion, you don't have to agree with me. I want Babylon to win. I really do. I'm sorry, but Banshees, man. Banshees. All for it. Okay, anyway, moving on. Before I get shot. So sound. I'm gonna have to go with either. I might have to go with Top Gun here, just because Top Gun could very well win editing as well. I don't really see it going to anybody else. Maybe All Quiet. That could be a pick, or that could be the one. It's honestly my personal pick. All Quiet's sound. I don't know. It's between that and Top Gun. Top Gun sound is pretty good. But I'm gonna have to go with All Quiet. You know, some of the battlefield scenes, you know, with the tanks and everything is just it's so well done. It's very, very well done, I think, and the guns and shit like that. Very good, very good. That's my pick. I'm just gonna go with Top Gun for my prediction. I don't know. That's what my gut is telling me. Original song. Just get this out of the way. Just get that out of the way. Not to has to win this one. It's RRR's big moment. It didn't get any other nominations. We all know what happened with it. This has got to be their moment. It's got to be their moment. The song is so widely loved. It's such a banger. It has to win here. It has to win here. It's going to be their moment of the ceremony. It's going to be the Academy's recognition of this film that just didn't make it, but was an unquestionable sensation globally. And the song, Not To, has to deal, you know, it has to do a great deal with that, you know, that song. So it has to win here. It has to win here. You know, all these other songs I'm not even really going to talk about, because Not To just has this in the bag, I think. You know, I mean, I will say that Hold My Hand, it's an okay song. Lift Me Up, it's a pretty good song. All these other songs are pretty good. Okay, in comparison to Not To. Again, I would love to see Child Papa here. I would love to see New Body Roomba here. They're not here. Anyway, whatever. Not To has this in the bag. It's a great song. Deserves the Oscar. Moving on. Visual effects. Yeah, you know. Animated feature. My pick, easily Pinocchio. Love that movie. It's in my top 5. Spoiler alert. I will be doing a top 10 video of all of my favorite 2022 films, and I will say right now, without giving too much away, Pinocchio is in my top 5 of the year. Love that movie so much. I've seen it twice. Made me shed a tear. It's great. It's a great movie. Del Toro, you've done it, man. You've done it. You absolutely nailed it. Marcel, some people's other alternative favorite. I have not seen Marcel. I'm sorry. You know, kind of a critical darling, but still, even then, even though it's been showing up everywhere, you know, Pinocchio has just been killing it so far. You know, won the Globe, won the Critics' Choice. Del Toro's name is attached to it, and he's an Academy favorite. This has to be happening. It has to be winning. And you know, I did see Puss in Boots. You know, I didn't love it as a lot of other people did, but I do think it is worthy of a nomination. It is definitely better than I thought it was going to be. Definitely the best Shrek franchise movie, arguably since Shrek 2. It's pretty good. It's a fun time. You know, all of the different animation mediums that are melded together are very inspired and very unique, and it stands out. You know, plot wise, it didn't do a lot for me. You know, I'm kind of removed from that universe. But you know, it's good. It's a really good movie. So shout out to Puss in Boots. I have not seen The Sea Beast, and I have not seen Turning Red. I've heard Turning Red is very good. But yeah, my pick and prediction, it's got to be Pinocchio, boy. It's got to be Pinocchio. International feature. My pick and prediction is All Quiet on the Western Front. It would be. I mean, it's impossible not to predict All Quiet to win here, because if an international feature is nominated in Best Picture, it has always won international feature, regardless of anything. Not one time has an international feature lost international feature with also a Best Picture nomination. So it's just happening. It's just happening. Maybe history will change. Maybe the stats will be broken, and they'll give it to something else. But I doubt that's going to happen. I doubt it. I mean, 99.9% sure All Quiet will take this award. And it's my personal pick because you know what? I didn't see anything else. I didn't see any of these. I didn't see Argentina, Close, EO, The Quiet Girl. It's been on my they've been on my list for a while. Just I haven't gotten to it. I'm sorry. I did see Decision to Leave, and I did see Bardo. They both missed. I'm really upset that Decision to Leave missed. Absolutely. I mean, that deserved to win, even over All Quiet, in my opinion. Oh well. It's a winner in my heart. It's a winner in my heart. That's honestly my pick. If I could just move this and just give it, just do this. I mean, let's just. I mean, can we just do this? Can we just do this? I mean, can we just do that? That's not good. That's against the rules. Can't do that. All right. Anyway, All Quiet international feature. It's happening. All right. Finally, documentary. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. My gut. Let's just make this quick. My gut is telling me that all that breathes may win here. It's the current front runner right now. I hear it's a critical darling. It's just something that they might go with. It's not as clear anymore, this category. It was kind of clear last year with Summer of Soul. The Rescue was kind of the front runner, and then they snubbed the front runner, and then the Summer of Soul won, so that was kind of predictable. This is a little bit more unpredictable, especially since DGA, PGA, Indie Spirits, and the BAFTA, they haven't happened yet. So for right now, I mean, it's really hard to tell. But for right now, All That Breathes won 2 precursors here, and everything else has just been showing up, and that's it. So that's my prediction. And as far as the picks, I'll pick all of them. I mean, again, I haven't seen any of these, and I really do want to see these. They look pretty great, but I'm just gonna pick all of them because I just don't have a preference. I'm rooting for all of them. They all look great. I mean, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed has also been a critical darling. Fire of Love is kind of like a heartwarming kind of tale of love between two volcano, scientists or something. Looks kind of cool. Archival footage, the Academy doesn't typically like archival footage, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there. And then both Housemaid of Splinters and Navalny are topical, regarding the situation in Russia and Ukraine right now. So maybe those two will have a surprise win. I'm not sure, but for right now, I'm going to say All That Breathes because that is seemingly the front runner as we speak. The shorts, I'm not going to pick and predict because number one, I haven't seen any of them, and number two, I'm just very far removed from the shorts. I'm just going to have to maybe look on Gold Derby and see what's happening there, and maybe just try to go out of my way to see these as much as these as I can. So we're going to leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Those are my personal picks in each category, as well as my predictions, my February predictions. BAFTA is on Sunday. I will be out of town this weekend. I'm going to be out of town, and I'm going to try to make it back home in time for the BAFTAs, and it's really tough because I'm on EST. I'm on the East Coast, so they come on at like 2 in the afternoon. So I'm gonna have to leave where I'm at out of town Sunday morning to get back home to watch the BAFTA, and I might not be able to swing it, guys. I'm not sure. So we'll see what happens. If I don't make it back in time, I might just do kind of a reaction video of either the ceremony archived live stream somewhere, or just look up a list of winners, which I know is boring, but I'm doing all I can, folks. I'm sorry, but I will try to make it back for the BAFTA ceremony, and if I do, I will be live streaming my reactions to the winners, as I did with Critics' Choice. So stay tuned for that, and after that, I think a week after that is SAG, and then some of these other guilds will be announcing their winners. So it's gearing up. The end of the season is gearing up, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm very excited. And we'll just have to see what happens. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see y'all next time, and Oscar Guy is out.